All right. Well, since I'm interviewing you this time, should I just start with the announcement?
You're the host.
All right, I'm the host. Welcome everyone to the Concave and Convex podcast, run by me and Rucka. So today we have a special host for you, the man with no sin, Rucka. Rucka, would you like to say a few words to our lovely community today?
Sure. Welcome to the Concave and Convex podcast. I'm Roka, as you know, and the man with no sin is actually Akarin. It wouldn't make sense otherwise. So I'm really glad you guys are choosing to hang out with us. We're going to have a blast for sure. We'll participate in event chat. Today, the special episode is hosted by Akarin, and I'm just a simple guest today.
Yeah.
So I'll pass the ball over to the host.
Yep. So for today's podcast, feel free to ask any questions that you have in the event chat, and yeah, let's get started. So Rucka, you've been from the community since the beginning, and so I've always been curious about like what your background was like. Like, how did you get into DeFi and crypto? Like, how did you end up here? Is my question.
Ooh, how did I get into crypto? Well, my first exposure to crypto was uh, I got into Twitter and I found uh, Seg, which was a guest in this podcast. He was here about 3-4 weeks ago. And he's really good at predicting prices and finding those low market cap gems. And since the profit is in low market cap gems, I followed the guy. I hanged out with him once or twice, and he invited me to his exclusive group full of, I'd call them degens. They ape into stuff and they have all that jargon and whatnot. So by the time I got in, it was late October, and the narrative was home forks, and they were talking about there's going to be um, this home fork and this home fork, and when I got in, it was Concave's turn, so I got into Concave, and then I started contributing and talking to some people, and I realized, man, this project has future. This project has a lot of future, and I want to be a part of it. So I started working very hard. I wrote the chat Bible. I wrote a lot of documents. I farmed some roles. And then I thought, I can't just work, I gotta be seen. So I contacted a few of the what I viewed as high ranking people in the community, which were the moderators. And I remember I contacted Shanghai and I contacted Homer Simpson, who is in the audience. And they both were great guys. And Homer invited me to the work server to hang out one day. And people gave me a shot and I took it. And that's how I got into Concave and stopped being a crypto degen, stopped that path and became a builder instead. And that's I'm really enjoying participating in this project. So I want to let you know as well that uh, you, the audience, if you have any questions for me, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. So um,
Yeah, we'll have a
there's that.
segment for that as well. If you have any questions in the chat, feel free to just post it for Rucka. And yeah, so Rucka, you were talking about you were basically here like since the start of the server, right? I remember seeing you like very early on when it first started, and I'm sure you saw all the absolute chaos that was going on and how fun it was. Could you go over like more specifically on how like what when you got into the server, what kind of roles did you start looking for? What were your thoughts? What were your expectations? What were you looking to do in the beginning?
Well, Seg was telling me that Concave had a lot of money to be earned, so I was bullish in it, and I was bullish on getting the roles. when you, I don't know if you guys were here from the start. If not, just listen to me. It's easy to get lost in the confusion. But when you entered the server back in the days when it opened in November, you would be exposed to anti right at the beginning. So as soon as I got in, I said, "Oh shit, these guys are making anti and adult memes and whatnot, and there's a role for it."
I remember that.
And yeah, I gotta collect that role. So of course I went to do some anti myself.
Wait, sir, that was your
And
first role?
it wasn't my first role, but I remember people were trying for like
Oh
days
yeah.
and days and days,
Oh
and
yeah.
I just made one and instantly got it.
Let's go.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
the
a,
server was pretty
anti-master, I
chaotic.
guess. Alpha, you are the tier first. Then
Great.
I started going for the content makers roles, which were a documentator, a spelunker. Uh, I was in philosophers. I and one of the big boosts in my name in Concave was when I got into a philosopher AMA, and uh, people really liked and enjoyed listening to me talk. And that was the first time people said, "Yeah, this guy has a talent for speaking," and it paved the way to my event hosting history and whatnot. And yeah, I'm good at speaking because I really love talking to you guys, and I don't feel like um, you don't know this, but I am used to talking in public, offline, uh, and usually I don't like it because I'm in a position that has me talking on a pedestal to people down below. And what happens here is that we are all in the same level. I'm part of the community. You guys are on the same level as I am, and that really puts stuff into another perspective. And I can be myself, and I can treat you guys like the wag me punch we are. And also I can swear and say fuck it, and communication is clearer because you can just upload uh, whatever you want to say, and people won't get offended, which is great.
Rocco, I'm offended right now. I'm in tears. I can't believe it.
I,
I'm just
I don't say that with that avatar. You're so cute.
I'm just kidding. So yeah, thank you for the response. I remember the first time I saw you was I think in that what is it, the philosopher Linkus AMA, and I was like, wow, this guy is such a philosopher. And I think that's when we first met, right?
Yeah, I
And
think so. I think so.
yeah.
I was looking. I knew you were very important because you were always talking, and people were always asking you to do stuff.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, you were kind of a slave on. I remember you were kind of a slave in that moment,
We both
and you
were
were accumulating all sorts of functions. Uh,
voluntarily. So
but
oh
yeah,
yeah. So yeah, we know I know a lot about you like personally. From Concave, and I know like you post some of your hobbies and stuff in the work server sometimes. For some people who may not like know about like that, like what kind of hobbies are you into? Yeah,
oh, I love playing video games, computer
what
games.
kind of video games would
I
you
was a
like to?
gamer from the start, and I actually um, represented my my country competitively in one game, which was Age of Mythology. So I was strategy game master, I'd say. Now I'm a casual gamer because, of course, you don't have the same time you did when you were younger. But I still play a lot, and I definitely need to have some time alone from time to time to just delve into a good game and stick around for a bit. Other than that, I'm a drummer, guys. So I'm a musical oriented person as well. I know we have a lot of musicians here in Concave. A lot
Yeah.
of the people, especially in community, are musicians. So that's bullish.
So you say
Uh,
you know any other instruments other than the drums, or are you mostly a drummer?
oh, I also play trumpet. Yeah, I play
You play the
trumpet as well.
trumpet, sir? Well, let's go. Let's go. No, I respect anyone who's able to play musical instruments. Other than the clarinet, I tried to learn how to play in seventh grade. I never really got to play more. So yeah, I mean it's really
Yeah,
impressive.
it's one of the hardest instruments to learn actually.
Yeah. On the topic of gaming, actually, what was the first game you ever played? I'm actually pretty curious now.
First game might have been uh, that game in which those old consoles that were unbranded and had a pistol and you had to shoot the ducks.
What console was this? Wait, is it like what is it called? Duck Hunt or something?
Yeah, Duck Hunt. Yeah, exactly. That was my first game ever.
What console was that? I don't remember anymore. Any answer
It didn't
something?
have a name. It was just one of those unbranded consoles you get at the market that have like 100 and something different games, but it's just 10 games and with different colors.
Wow. Sounds good, sir. Sounds good.
Chinese consoles.
The knockoffs,
OG
the
Nintendo,
knockoff
yeah.
consoles.
Yeah, they were mimicking the Super Nintendo. The format was mimicking Super
Oh
Nintendo.
my god,
I'm sure you guys on the audience played it as well.
great. All right, so now Rucka, you've built your way up. Now you're here. We're getting ready for staking and bonding. And would you like to tell the community about like a bit about like your responsibilities right now in Concave, and how like basically how you help out with the community?
Yeah, sure. Community is my number one concern right here in Concave. As someone who is connected to the community, I really want you guys to succeed as we do. We all say wag me, but we leave it here. And um, no, sorry, I'm just interrupting to say that this isn't the Tokimak AMA that already happened. Um, but did you record a Takarin for this person in the Fort
Tokamak game?
Lalor?
I think the Tokamak people recorded it, so it should be out somewhere. Probably soon.
Okay, so back onto the topic. I really wish the community to succeed alongside us. And so my responsibilities now are to inform the community in the best of my ability, and I've been doing that by talking on the community chat, but also by organizing the workshops about people, by inviting the right guests for the right time we're living in. I mean, um, I did the workshop on people just yesterday. We had a blast with Chromie. We learned a lot of things that are relevant right now. And with staking and bonding coming forward, I can see that a lot of questions are going to pop up once the systems are in place. And I'm going to organize a workshop. And it's promised right here. I'm going to organize a workshop to get you all get you all sorted, to make sure your goals are aligned to the staking period you choose. The bonding revenue is talked about, and all of those things. You can count on me to make sure you guys are informed and that your goals align with ours. Um, in an organizational standpoint, as you know, I've been hosting events, I've been hosting the podcast, and I've also been writing some of the articles on our blog post. You can check the articles on People, etc. And I'm not going to chill any further, or else Trey will start tipping me for being a shill, and I don't want that.
Schiller, the Schiller. That's great. So I know your focus a lot. I mean, focus on like both of us a lot was like on education for our backgrounds, and so I guess one question I have is like, what do you think it takes to be a good teacher or instructor to a person? Like, what do you think it takes? What kind of elements does good teaching require?
Well, I think that to be a good teacher, you need to not want to climb academically, because if you want to climb on the academia world, you gotta lose the purpose of teaching and gotta start working on papers and trying to bullshit your way up to the top. And that's kind of how it happens in politics and whatnot. And this world is totally upside down, in which the more difficult you are to understand, the more credit you receive, both in academia and politics. Well, to be a good teacher, you need to give the information your students will need to succeed. And I mean, my area is marketing, company management, etc. Sometimes I drop what the academics want me to teach, and I teach practical stuff like taxes, like how the economy works, stuff like that people can use day to day. That's why you need to be a good teacher. You need to get invested into your students and think of every class like uh, a piece of the future society. So you want to teach them the right way.
Yeah, now you're basically with the workshops that you're helping host. You are essentially like teaching people in Concave about like certain things, right? Like I remember the marketing workshop that you held was pretty informative.
Yeah, and we have all kinds of different workshops. Sometimes we even have, well, we had one week the meditation workshop, which very little people attended, but it was a guy that submitted the request for the incubator. He wanted to have a meditation session. He told that to the incubator, and people picked up the idea. We got an expert on meditation, yoga, etc. We have a guided meditation session here. It was the first time I meditated. I had a blast. Chromie was here. We made a connection, and the expert actually wants to come back one day. I'll have to set it up better, etc. But it's always a thrill to teach people, however niche their ambition to learn is, or the subject they want to learn is. And I see a question in the chat. They are asking me what's my worst DeFi fail, if I had any, and let me guess. DeFi fail. Hmm.
You could also be more general. What's your worst crypto fail?
Crypto fail is Apin Records.
Oh, oh yeah, I remember that.
My poker is aimed at that one. That was a huge fail. Apin Records. I was bullish, but they didn't deliver. I'm sorry. Um, I, they may deliver in the future. I wasn't able to hold out any longer. I sold at a loss. It was a huge fail, and yeah, I'm vaccinated against air now. I don't want more air. Um,
Yeah, and thank you, fan, for the question. I sent you 200 spoons. Oh, Iron Finance. Yeah, yeah, I remember that, Pan. No worries. A lot of people got rugged from Iron
oof,
Finance.
GG.
GG, no worry. But no. Actually, coming back to that question, is this like your first like market cycle in terms of crypto, or
Oh
like?
yeah, I just got it into crypto September, October, something like that. Uh, but disclaimer, I was a really good marketer on the digital world. I mean, I did a lot of work on marketing and on the internet marketing world, traditional finance. So I had YouTube channels, I had Android apps, I had blogs, I had a lot of different virtual real estate, call it that. But crypto, this is my first market cycle, and I'm loving it so far. Stuff runs way faster in crypto.
Yeah, yeah. Johnny Bonley asks, what's your biggest win in poker?
My biggest win in poker is about $14, I guess.
Fourteen
Why?
dollars.
Because I'm really good at poker, but I can't play competitively because I start to sweat and I get really nervous.
That's
Poker
true. That's
isn't for
true.
me.
At least you
I'm
ended
good
up
at
on a
it, but
positive
I
note.
can't endure the stress.
It's true though. Like playing poker for fun is just so much different from like actually putting money in the line, right? I mean, it sounds crazy. All right, Ruka. Well, so what did you? So I know this is like your first crypto market cycle. So what have you learned? What have you learned during your few months in the crypto world?
All right, so this is the lesson I want you guys all to learn, and I've saw that it's the number one thing people forget to learn about is learning how to sell. I mean, everybody knows how to buy, or at least in theory, they know how to buy low, but they fail to take profits and learn how to sell, guys. Sometimes you need to sell, and this is the thing I see, the mistake I see most people commit. People just hold and are married to their bags and fail to take profit and etc. Learn to sell, guys. It's one of the most important pieces of knowledge I've learned, and I want you guys to learn as well because I see so many crypto veterans who still haven't learned it.
Yep, it's a cycle. I remember one bag I had it like what from like 2K to like up to 20K and I never sold and it ended up just completely nuking. Oh boy. Oh boy. But yeah, glad you learned how to sell, you know. We're here. We're here. Well, we're still kicking it. But in terms of concave, so like what makes you so we've been out for a while and we've been here for a while, but what makes you want to stay here and do and contribute to concave compared to say like other jobs or crypto
Yeah, this is
companies? Yeah.
something the community, uh, and I don't mean the community team. I mean the general community. You guys in the audience, everybody in this Discord server, etc. You still, there are still a lot of you who didn't understand, but you will in time. Uh, and this is the number one reason why I'm staying, is because this is a long-term project. This and I'm not staying because this is a long-term project. It's going to go up and down, etc. We'll keep on building. None of that bullshit we usually listen. I'm talking about we're a builder co-op. We build different things. We build different services. We will get a lot of different products and services, earning money for the treasury. We'll divide that money throughout the quarterly dividends every quarter. And this is a long-term project in the sense that it's ever growing from people who know how to build and manage, and all of the profit is divided by the holders in dividends, being it the holders of the P tokens, the tokens in general, etc. And that's why I've been stressing that price action at this beginning of the phase matters really little. And I've been accumulating, and I'm glad I've been accumulating because now the price is a bit higher again, and my average is really low because I've been accumulating.
Oh.
Um, and the more tokens you have for the longest period you stake, the bigger your quarterly dividends are. And this is a way for you to get long-term exposure to the crypto markets where you can earn uh, solid returns without having to worry about managing your portfolio, because we have the policy sheds here for it, and the policy sheds know what they're doing. They they got us the funding we needed for this project. They already got some funding for other projects through our investments, and we know they know how to conduct business and grow the treasury. We will prove that, and we will distribute the rewards for people who trust us, and that's why our motto is uh, own the trust.
Own the trust. Own the trust. Great. Now, I was actually playing a game recently. I don't know if you've heard of it called Disco Elysium. Have you ever heard of that game?
Oh, it's kind of like Hotline Miami, right?
Yeah, it's like a narrative game, and the reason why I bring this up is there was one really interesting quote that I wanted to ask you today, and the question is this: Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed?
Can you repeat that?
Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed? So do you know what that means, like status quo?
Yeah. I'm thinking. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not something universal, in my opinion. Sometimes you need the bloodshed to get to the age of Aquarius per se, to get that golden uh, change, and to get that golden paradigm of prosperity, etc. And you need some blood to be spilled, yeah, of course. But we want to avoid that at all costs. So there's something dictators do very well, which is they encroach to your liberties one step at a time, and you lose 1 centimeter each day, and you don't notice you lose so much. Like if they cut all your liberties, you will revolt. But if they cut one liberty today, one liberty tomorrow, one liberty the next day, you won't notice it. It's like the story of the frog. If you put it in boiling water, she will jump out, but if you heat the water, she will die boiled, because it's gradual and she doesn't notice. On the other hand, we can apply this to your sentence by saying, can't we uh, avoid the drastic bloodshed to reach that new paradigm by introducing small changes to the status quo, to upset the status quo without it being overtly noticeable? That's a thought.
Sounds good, sir. Yeah, I was just really interested because I found that quote like, because basically the question just comes out and then you have to answer yes or no, and I was just really stuck on that question. I know for philosophical background, I was just interested to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm with Penn that things can't improve if things aren't allowed to change. But I do believe that gradual change, one step at a time, it's preferable to just shatter all the cutlery.
Sounds good, sir. And I mean, on the topic of philosophy, what sort of informed your teachings of philosophy? Like I remember taking like some philosophy courses back in college, taking like a logic course, and I was just wondering like what your take on philosophy is. Like, what was your experience like?
Well, I think here in crypto, we are all guys who think about stuff more than the usual crowd, and that's why we reached this point. Um, but I've always stopped to think, uh, what is the meaning of life? What am I doing here? What is my purpose? I remember being a child and looking at my fingers and thinking these fingers will age, I will get old, etc. So a little bit of existential anxiety uh, mixed with the natural curiosity of an inquisitive mind is what made me research, question everything, read, um, do those mental exercises to try and spot how to best live the only life I got, and that will, uh, without a doubt, throw you into some philosophical paths. Some people find the answers they seek. Some just accept that they won't ever find answers, and some uh, just want to watch the world burn. But we're all a bit philosophical, if we have the intelligence to be so. Uh,
Well
One thing
said,
is for
sir.
sure: the smarter you are, the more anxiety you will experience in your thoughts, because you'll question everything.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get that feeling as well. Yeah, I was just really appreciative of like your perspective on life and just like your philosophical takes on things. So I really appreciate that. You also brought up books. Well, what books do you recommend to the audience today? I haven't read in a while, so I probably have to get back on that.
Oof, books. Hmm. Uh, I think everybody in here already read it, but Rich Dad Poor Dad has got to be my recommendation for a book that will get you started onto getting that useful practical knowledge on economy and taxes and whatnot.
Taxes.
Then there are a couple overrated books. I think Napoleon Hill is a good read, but it's highly overrated. And there are underrated books, and for underrated books, I think um, Miyamoto Musashi. Miyamoto Musashi's books are cool.
Yeah, I still need to
Who
read
was a
those.
samurai. Capitalist Manifesto. I actually didn't read that yet, Trey, but it is in my radar.
Is it good? I haven't read it yet, True. I've never heard of it.
Capitalist Manifesto is from Kiyosaki, the same guy from Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, alright, will do, sir. Will
Oh,
do.
it's bound to be good. But I actually am not an avid reader of books. I prefer to. I know this sounds a bit pretentious, but I prefer to read scientific papers. And on the other hand, I also like to watch those YouTube videos. So you got the both opposites here, like academic papers and scientific papers on one hand, and YouTube shit posting videos on the other hand. But that's how I roll.
Alright. Alright, sir. Well, if you have any questions, and if anyone in the audience has any questions, feel free to ask in the bench chat. Because we're gonna head
Yeah, I'd
over
love to answer some of your questions, audience.
and
Especially because a lot of you guys, I really like the guys who are watching today. So if you have any questions, do let me know. It's a pleasure to answer to you guys.
Yep. And the last segment is basically gonna be, the little segment about like funny questions. But we're gonna answer Chromie's questions first. How long have you been a teacher?
I've been a teacher since I was 24 years old. I was the youngest marketing teacher in the country. That was very cool.
In the
for
country?
me.
The whole
Yes.
country?
Yes.
Wow.
My country isn't that big, but yes.
There's gotta be at
Um,
least 1,000 people there, though, right?
No, there are 10 million people.
Gee. You're the youngest, like the absolute youngest.
Yeah. I was the youngest because digital marketing is pretty recent, and 24 is pretty young for a university professor.
I gotta put that up in trivia somewhere. That's a trivia question right there. All right, let's see. Anangolilia asks best marketing book.
Well, I like Seth Godin's books because they are light and even my most lazy students can read them. They touch on a lot of concepts, and so if you want to get started on marketing or profound your marketing knowledge, I would advise you guys to go for Seth Godin's books, and then the concepts he speaks about that you care about, research those concepts. I mean, you get exposed to tons of different concepts in those books, and so you can get deeper knowledge into the concepts you deem to be the better match for you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Seth Godin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I think I am, but if I haven't, well, I'm not a native speaker. If you haven't noticed that already.
What? I'm just kidding. You're
Yeah, I know
good.
it's a
You're doing
shocker
good.
with my accent.
All right, Chromie has the spicy questions. How many children do you plan to have?
My plan is actually 3 children. But you know how life is, we don't know.
3 children. Wow. I couldn't even
Yeah.
deal with one yet. Jeez. I mean, that's really good. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, and yeah, hope that works out. All right, now I do have a funny question for you. Do you pull the toilet paper? When you use toilet paper, do you go over or under?
Oh man, I don't have a toilet paper support in the bathroom. I just grab it.
You grab it. What do you use? What do you use? Do you use a bidet or something?
it yes, it's on top of the bidet. Yeah.
Nice. I have a bidet too. It's actually really nice. A recommendation: if you guys want to make one nice investment in your life, get a bidet. It really helps over toilet paper. All right, get a bidet,
Get a
folks.
bidet.
Get a
Yeah,
bidet.
you ordered your folks free alpha.
All right, and the next question: What is it? What is the weirdest thing you've seen someone do in public?
Weirdest thing. Oh, I saw so many weird shit. It's actually hard to find the weirdest, but I once saw two girls start beating each other up in the nightclub, and one of them had those big earrings that are a ring on her ear. The other pulled that ring and took a bit of the ear out. Like she pulled the ring
Ow!
and the ear came with the earring, and then it
Ow!
was a bit of flesh down on
What?
the floor of the nightclub, and
What?
people were just making way because there was the flesh of the earlobe there on the floor.
Oh man,
Yeah,
where is
that
this?
was weird. I was also sitting down near to somebody who is also sitting down, and then a guy came with a pocket knife and he stabbed the kneecap out of that guy who was sitting next to me. That was weird.
Sir, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I had a cool adolescence.
You had a cold adolescence. The backstory of
My
the mysterious
I
backstory.
was a bit of a troublemaker on my adolescent times, but I'm really uh, uh, a professional stand-up guy now.
Nice. And you know how Rucka's a stand-up guy now? Cause he's in Concave. That's why. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm just kidding. All right. I think that's a good time. If there's any, we'll give it one more minute for live questions. But and then, all right. Okay. Cool. So one last question. Last question. Chromie asks, where do you want to retire?
Oh, I'd like to retire in Portugal.
In Portugal. Nice. Because of the because of the
Or
because of the tax free crypto.
Portugal has no taxes. Portugal, but that's secondary. Portugal has one of the best health cares in the system compared to the cost of living and etc. Uh, Lots of historic stuff, lots of good food. Um, yeah, the healthcare is free mostly.
Actually, Rucka,
Uh,
I do have one more question for you. Can I live in your basement?
would you pay rent?
Yeah, yeah. I'll pay some rent because I don't have to pay for healthcare then. Oh
Because
my
if I'm
god.
going to seed my basement, gotta collect that rent.
All right, just dust it up for me. I'll head over. I'll head over tonight. Concave
Yeah,
concave party at Rucka's house. Let's go.
let's go. Yeah, Portugal is great. I know.
Uh,
Yeah, Portugal is really cool because also there are no poisonous animals. There aren't any natural disasters. I
there's
mean,
not.
what more do you want in a country?
Is there good alcohol?
Oh shit, the beer is awesome. It's it's one of the best countries to drink beer at.
Sold. Let's
And
all go. Let's all
we
go.
have port wine. Uh, Port wine is also a specialty of Portugal.
Damn.
And there's just we have a lot of coastline to fish. We have a lot of great fish and seafood.
Damn.
And
Let me go look at it. All
I
right.
mean, the language is very difficult. That's probably a problem. But Other than that, it's all positives.
Can you speak English there, or is it just mostly just Portuguese?
Uh, every Portuguese can speak English mostly.
Nice.
My wife can't, but most Portuguese people can.
Nice. All right, Broca. I'll head over there tonight. See you there. We gotta end the
Hey,
podcast now because
it's
I
deal.
gotta pack up.
Now, seriously though,
I'm just
audience,
kidding. I'm
if you
just
guys get in big in Concave and you stack some tokens and in 3 years you still are here, everybody's invited to come hang out with me.
Let's go! You guys heard it here. It's gonna be recorded. Remember, Rucka house party. Rucka house party. If Concave
It's a
makes it.
deal.
It's a deal.
Remind me in 3 years.
Maybe in 2 years.
What about P tokens, Tree Flip? Well, P tokens are a really powerful token. They are going to pay us a hell lot of dividends, but you need to understand that things take their time. And that's why, and I'm saying this for you, but it counts for me, because I also want P tokens, and I want P tokens now. But freaking engineers, am I right? They delay everything.
Devs, please fix price. All right, and just so you know, P tokens stand for Portugal tokens. I'm just kidding. You heard it here first. Portugal tokens.
Yeah, alpha.
All right, sir. Thank you for coming by today. I think this was a very enjoyable podcast. It's always nice talking with you, Rucka. You know, we've been at it for a while. You know, I view you as a dear friend, and yeah, thank you for coming by today. I'm glad the audience got to know you a bit better.
Yeah, it's really great to have you as a friend as well. We make a great team, and I hope you guys in the audience have had fun. I had a blast, and we are kind of establishing ourselves as we go as one of those streets in which you know the faces of the people who pass through you. I mean, we here in this Discord already know each other's faces by now, and we hang out with each other. And these moments are great because we can really connect with each other on a way we can't just by typing. And Ekarin, you're a wonderful host. It's a pleasure to have a podcast hosted by you and to be a guest in it. Now, I'm ready for the next poker night. Whenever Rick James deems to organize one, or Chromie, I'll join.
Chromie,
sure.
Get on it.
I'll even host it. I'll even host the next poker night if you want.
Let's go.
Like last time. So yeah, that's going to be it for the podcast today.
All right.
Thank you all for stopping by. We'll be here next week at the same time. You know, it's always a pleasure to be here, and I hope you'll be here next time as well. So we'll just close the stage, but you can stay in the event chat and talk a bit with us. I'll be sure to let is Chromie here yet?
Yeah, Chromie. Why don't you do the
Chromie
beatboxing?
can do an airdrop for the channel, a spoon airdrop, and to get you all some spoons. And I'll see you next time. Wag me.
Wag me, friends. Wag me. Chromie, you want to come up and beatbox for the outro?
I'll invite him to speak.